That account of the Lord's Passion from the Gospel according to John is very moving indeed. We stand through the reading of the Passion almost in solidarity with Jesus, who suffered for our sake. As you know, the account of the Passion is read twice in full within the church during the year, the other time being Palm Sunday. On Sunday last we heard the Passion according to Mark. Today's account is the account of an eyewitness. You may have noticed there at the end, John, who's writing this, says, "This is the evidence of a trustworthy witness." He's speaking about himself. And it's also only in this account of the Passion that you hear that story about Jesus giving his mother Mary to be the mother of John and asking John to become like her son. Throughout the account of the Passion, we find ourselves in great empathy with Jesus. The way he is unjustly condemned by false witnesses. The way his followers desert him or deny him, even Peter. And then, of course, the way he is horribly scourged and mocked, made fun of. And even on the cross, they continue to abuse him. The account of the Passion reminds us that Jesus understands suffering. And in today's world there is so much suffering. Just this morning I was listening to the world news and hearing the account of that terrible train crash in Taiwan and of terrible violence in northern Ethiopia and Nigeria. In front of me was the Trokra box and the story of that family in South Sudan who have to flee their homes because of violence. That Jesus understands suffering is so important to us in our faith. Because let's face it, we all undergo suffering in our lives of one kind or another. And goodness knows this past year has brought its own fair share of suffering to so many families during the COVID-19 pandemic. If the story of the Gospels ended here, it would be depressing. Jesus dead on the cross. But of course, as Christians, we believe this is not the end. After he is buried, in 3 days, he rises from the tomb. His victory over suffering and death. He is therefore the reason why we continue to hope, despite all the worst that the world can throw at us. Because we believe in the resurrection. We are an Easter people. We do not remain fixed in the moment of Good Friday, but we hold together with that awful suffering our sure belief in the resurrection. And every time we recite the Creed, we state clearly that we believe in Jesus Christ, who suffered, who died, and who was buried, but equally we believe he rose again from the dead. That is what gives us in our Christian faith the reason to live, the reason to hope, even in the face of suffering and despair, that he has gone before us. Our mystery of faith sums it up, that by dying, he destroyed our death. By rising, he restored our life. And so this afternoon, as we venerate the wood of the cross. We do so knowing that we know what happens in the next episode. We know that he rises from the dead, but still we venerate the cross in the realization that Jesus, our Savior, suffered like one of us.